On the screen or off the screen, CM Punk has had a career that's been littered with controversy and has always had an ability to find a way to get people to be talking about him. And after what took place at the Elimination Chamber, you knew that he was going to do just that and find another way. Hey, what's going on, guys? Kevin Zwicker from Fast Count coming at you. And before I get into this video, remember to like and subscribe, like and subscribe. Oh yeah, remember, like and subscribe. So after what took place at the Elimination Chamber where CM Punk was screwed out of the main event of WrestleMania, you knew that on Monday Night Raw, there was going to be hell to pay for anybody that was going to get in CM Punk's way. And that's exactly what took place. Raw opened up with a fiery and angry CM Punk. He stormed to the ring. He jumped on the announcer table right there by Pat McAfee and Michael Cole. And basically what went down was he had a list of his ops and he took a bazooka and he ran through all of them. He started off with The Rock. He said he's a bald fraud. He goes on to talk about how he is in the middle of a midlife crisis. He then goes on to mock his hand gesture that he does with the goosebumps, and then he talks about how The Rock is delusional and desperate, and he's never been at a point where he's been that delusional or desperate to create a own title for his own selfish needs. I guess that run as the real world champion in AEW was all a figment of my imagination, and it never went down. Then he turns his attention to John Cena, and he talks about how for 20 years people have been buying this bullshit that John Cena has been selling. This whole hustle, loyalty, respect thing is all bullshit. And he then mocks the "you can't see me" thing. And he talks about how now everybody can finally see him for the fraud that he is. And then he says that at the Chamber, he didn't quit, but John Cena quit on himself. And then he turns his attention to his main op. There's been two guys who have been his biggest op since his return to WWE. One is Drew McIntyre, and the other one is obviously Seth Rollins. And then he goes on to talk about how Becky Lynch better get her man, because if she doesn't get him before he does, he is going to put Seth in a wheelchair. And then the music hits, and they go on brawling throughout the whole arena. You have like 30 different security guards in between these guys. They're brawling over there by the announce team. They're brawling over there by the ring. They're brawling by the ramp. All hell's breaking loose. Throughout this whole segment, CM Punk has gotten the crowd to be rabid, right? Everybody is going nuts. Every single jab that CM Punk is going, with against The Rock or Cena or Rollins, everybody is eating it up. People are going crazy for CM Punk. This is one of the more fiery promos he's made ever since he's returned, whether it was AEW or WWE, the guy was really in the zone tonight. And then later on during the show, you had Adam Pearce and Seth Rollins in the back area outside, and it became official. We are going to get Seth Rollins versus CM Punk in a steel cage at Madison Square Garden next week. Now, as far as I know, Roman Reigns is advertised for that show as well. And this is an opportunity that WWE has where a lot of times with WrestleMania, people are trying to get shoehorned into as many different matches as possible so everybody can be on the card. But this doesn't feel like a moment where things are being shoehorned. I love the fact that you have three guys who are on top of their game, and Seth Rollins and CM Punk and Roman Reigns possibly being in a triple threat on the biggest stage there is at WrestleMania. I feel like it makes a lot of sense. It doesn't feel shoehorned. It makes sense why all three of these guys would be interlocked into this, matchup. Usually with cage matches or Hell in a Cells and all these things, that should be the blow off. But I feel like with Roman Reigns and what went down at the Royal Rumble, that he is somehow going to get involved in this match, and there's not going to be a clear-cut winner. And that's all good. I think Tribal Chief being involved with anything is super nice. It's always exciting. I think that might be the favor that is, Paul Heyman has with CM Punk, that he gets his hands on Roman Reigns. There's nothing that says that favor that Paul Heyman has involves a title or being shoehorned into a main event or any of these things. Because just to be honest with you, I know Paul Heyman has a big voice backstage, but I don't think that the guy has the pull to where he can sit there and say, hey, I'm going to put you into that Cody Rhodes and John Cena match. But anything that involves the Tribal Chief, I think that he has the stroke to do it. And I think that's what's going to go down at WrestleMania. Now, it's going to be hard to pick who's going to win between those three guys. I think that anytime Roman Reigns is involved in something, I think 90% of the time he is going to be the winner. And as a guy who is a loyalist to the tribal chief, I don't mind it. But I like the fact that, like I said, all three of those guys are intertwined in some way. And Seth Rollins, man, I was never the biggest Seth Rollins fan. I've always felt like out of the three members of the Shield, he was the weakest. But the way that he's been able to really get the best out of CM Punk and really made this feud something that was surface level in the beginning, where it's like, yeah, you gave me a hard time and I don't like you and I don't think you should be in my company, to now it's something to where these guys are in like this bloodthirsty feud, and CM Punk has been costing this thing that we all know in real life is something that he's obsessed about for years, always talks about. It's one of the main reasons why he left in the first place, not being able to main event WrestleMania. And now we're able to tie Roman Reigns into this, who has this long-standing, tension with Seth Rollins and was never really able to get over the fact that he broke up the Shield. I think it's beautiful. I think it's very layered. I think it's one of the best things that Triple H has decided to do outside of the heel turn with John Cena. And I think that we're in store for something very magical at the Garden next week. When the Garden is involved, you know that something huge is going to go down. It is the most historic venue in the world, especially when it comes to the professional wrestling. So you know something's going to go down. You know we're going to get a very intense and brutal match. CM Punk has been on this crazy run of these crazy stipulations since he's come back. He's always been involved in these matches, and I think the older that CM Punk has gotten, he's been able to really rely on his storytelling ability, and we're going to see that ability on display at the Garden. But let me know what you guys think about what went down tonight. How did you feel about CM Punk running down his ops? What was your favorite line that he dropped on Cena, The Rock, or Rollins? And what did you think about that wheelchair mark? I thought that was freaking cold, and I thought it was one of those things where it's just like, damn, these guys are serious. But guys, remember to like the video and subscribe. It helps the channel out in more ways than you even know. I am Kevin Zwicker. I'm out.